Hello and welcome to your March 2022 forecast readings with me, Intuitive Rene. Always such an honor and privilege to be here for you, and thank you for giving me the space to create this kind of content that keeps you inspired, motivated, and enthusiastic about life. So we are looking at March 2022. I actually can't quite wrap my head around that, but anyway, um, what this video is a series of 12 individual videos that are the same but completely different. Basically, I record a single video for each sign of the zodiac using the same layout or the same spread, the same deck of cards, but obviously the cards that come through, the messages that come through, and the reading that comes through will be completely different for each sign of the zodiac. So there are 12 identical spreads or 12 identical readings, and you get to choose one based on your sun sign. And if you know yourself, your astrology, and you know your rising sign and your moon sign, you're welcome to watch those as well to get other aspects or just another angle on your own life and your own what's coming through for you during the month of March 2022. So these videos, these taroscopes as I call them, they are released the week before the new month. So in the last week of the previous month, you will get them, which is why you're now getting the March readings. And the way that I suggest that you work with this is obviously before the month starts itself, watch the video to get an idea of what's in store for you, what you need to be aware of, what you need to know about, what's coming up for you, so that you can almost plan and be prepared for anything. And then during the month, at least once, I would say about halfway through, but anytime that you find yourself facing a challenge or facing a problem, come back to the video and look at it, watch it again, even if you just pick out certain aspects of it, just to remind you and to help you stay focused on whatever it is that you need to stay focused on. So before I push the record button, I do all the behind the work scenes of connecting to spirit and setting the intentions and all of that other kind of good stuff, and making sure that I set the intentions correctly for each one of you. So it is a collective reading, so it's for everybody who has the same sign of the zodiac, but each one of you will hear something different through the reading, and that's the intention that I set, and that's the way that I work with spirit. We're using the tarot just as a tool, just to help formulate, if I can say, the stuff that needs to come across. And for this month, for the month of March, I am working with two amazing decks. The first one I'm going to work with is if I can get the glare off, is the Enchanted Map Oracle. And the Enchanted Map Oracle is going to give us our theme for the month ahead. And it's the first card that we're going to draw through the reading. And like I said, I do love working with this particular deck. This is such an old deck. I think it's like one of the first that ever joined my collection from the Oracle point of view. And I mean, it is so old and grubby and dirty and fabulous. So I love working with Enchanted Map to give us our theme for the month ahead. And then, getting quite excited, I'm going to work with the Spacious Tarot. So the Spacious Tarot is a normal, typical tarot deck, but from a different perspective. The whole deck, every single card, if I remember correctly, there's no people in the deck, so it's almost like from your eyes. Okay, so it's if you're looking at whatever's in front of you, but from your eyes or from your vantage point, it's the Spacious Tarot. It's the space in front of you. So because we're doing a forward look, because we're looking at the month ahead, I thought working with the Spacious Tarot, and it's such a beautiful deck. The artwork is just exquisite. So quite looking forward to working with Spacious Tarot as well. And of course, they're a beautiful sized deck. It's not overly large and difficult for me to shuffle and to work with. They're a beautiful size, perfect size as far as I'm concerned. So those are the two decks that I'm going to be working with. And as I mentioned earlier on, I am doing quite a detailed spread. I've got 10 cards or 10 card positions. So I'm going to shuffle and lay out 10 cards and read. It is the same format that I used in February. So if you enjoyed the format I used, then we're going to work with the same format for the month of March. And we're going to lay out the 10 cards and just see what comes through for every one of you. This particular intro is a generic intro. So I'm recording this intro once, and I'm just going to add it into every single video that I create hereafter for the March Taroscopes. And I just do it to save myself repetitive talking, and also because when I start recording and I start like with Aries and move all the way through to Pisces, I get in the zone, okay? And because of that, I want to just, when I'm doing those readings, just get straight into it and bring through whatever information that you need. If you enjoy this kind of content and if you enjoy these taroscopes, I am just a small channel here on YouTube. I'm nobody big and fancy and fabulous. So the best way to support and to show appreciation for what I do is to give the video a thumbs up and a comment below. Get all your friends to come and watch. But the more you interact with the video, the more you're letting YouTube know that this is good content and other people need to see it. So YouTube will recommend it to other people, and that's the best way to support me. And also just to show me that, that you do enjoy what I do. So thank you so much, and let's get straight into your reading. Scorpio, let's get into your reading and let's have a look and see what March 2022 has in store for you. I am shuffling the Enchanted Map Oracle to get our theme for the month ahead. So I'm just looking for a single card from this deck. That's going to be our theme for March 2022. Let's have a look and see what we get. Apparently, I want that one over there. I do apologize for the glare. Let's have a look and see what is the theme for Scorpio energy for March. I love that. The One Ring Circus. You know, there's so many ways that I would interpret it, but I just want to see if the camera will focus on the detail. How gorgeous is she sitting on top of her elephant? Up high, she's like got not a fear in the world. She's so confident, she's so brave, she's so super in control. The elephant, on the other hand, he's looking like, where do I go? What do I do? What's next? She's putting on a show, okay? She's performing and she's putting on a show. But, you know, a show for who? Who are we performing for? Who's watching us? Who's seeing us? Who's observing us? And our poor little elephant, to me, I just get the kind of feeling from him like he's exhausted, you know? He's exhausted and he's sort of saying to her, how much more of this do we need to do? And it's almost like he's been sitting there for so long, he might even have turned to stone. You know, he might even have turned to stone. And suddenly, as I'm looking at this on the computer screen, now that it's nice and zoomed in, like, is he giving her the finger? My sixth sense of humor. So we've got One Ring Circus. So I have to say to you that typically One Ring Circus has got a negative connotation to it, but I also want to throw a positive spin on it. And I want to say to you, you know, as long as you are performing, it doesn't matter who's watching you, it doesn't matter who's there. It means that you are active. It means that you are doing something. It means that you are living your passion, living your truth, and fulfilling your dream, isn't it? It's when we become inactive, it's when we stand still for so long that we turn to stone. So One Ring Circus is saying to you that you have a passion within you, you have a drive, you have something that means something to you, and nothing and nobody is going to get in the way and stop you from doing and fulfilling your life purpose and your life passion and your life dream. So it could be that you are, you know, so self-obsessed that you're doing it and nobody's actually seeing you, your effort, seeing the work that you put into it. Or maybe it's just that you're so passionate and so enthusiastic about what you're doing that you don't care if nobody notices, because you're not putting the show on for somebody else, you're putting the show on for yourself. And you know what, isn't there something just so magical about that? And you know, Scorpio, I know a Scorpio, I don't want to say Scorpions have got a bad rap, but you've got a bad rap of being quite emotional, quite dark, quite secretive, and so forth. But to me, it's because of the One Ring Circus, because you're not performing for somebody else's benefit. You're not performing to entertain other people. You do things because it's what you want to do, when you want to do it, and how you want to do it. And is that so bad? I don't think so. I really don't think that's so bad. Actually, I think that's quite fabulous. I think actually more of us should be like that. We should all be living our truth and doing what we want, when we want, and how we want, and not always being so concerned around, you know, other people's needs, wants, and desires. Okay, so I have been shuffling the Spacious Tarot. I have now finished shuffling. I'm going to lay out our cards. And this is for Scorpio for the month of March 2022. Once I've laid out all the cards, I will come back to the reading and start the interpretations. Oh, I love that card. Love, love, love that card. Okay, this is getting very interesting. I'm trying not to look at the cards themselves. Let's just see what we have. Okay, 10 cards laid out, putting the deck away. All right. Let's have a look and see. I want to see what's predominant. What do we have most of here? I'm just looking. We have got 3 cups. When it comes to major arcana, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana. So that's interesting, Scorpio. So the fact that we have 5 major arcana is immediately leaning towards the situation of saying that this is a big life event, okay? This whole one ring circus kind of thing. We're not in the month of March. We're not talking about just a little event or a little activity. We're actually talking about something quite big. We're actually talking about something fairly significant. So now let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's have a look and see. March 2022 starts off with us being Child of Swords. Child of Swords would be the Page of Swords. Page of Swords for me is a beautifully interesting card because it's about curiosity. It's about intrigue. It's about having, just wanting to understand how things work, why things are the way they are, etc. Okay, and this is who you are, Scorpio. We come into the month of March feeling like this, feeling like we want to know more, feeling quite curious and quite, like really wanting to understand the nitty-gritties of everything that's going on around you. Not really being concerned about the big things, but saying, I want to understand the detail. I want to understand everything. I want to have that knowledge. And it's almost like this Child of Swords is Spirit saying to you, be curious, okay? Climb out of your comfort zones, be curious, and start exploring what is directly around you. And just to bring our one ring circus back into it as well, even though she's very limited and restricted by her little island, she's sitting at the top of the elephant, which means that her viewpoint is maybe a little bit restricted and obstructed by the large elephant below her. If she climbed off the elephant and actually looked around here, who knows what she would see? Who knows what is on the other side of the elephant? From this vantage point, everything looks like we can see it all, but maybe she can't. The fact that she is also looking off to the side for what we don't see is maybe there is another island just over here that maybe has something that's intriguing her or that's interesting to her. So this is Spirit saying to you, Scorpio, that during the month of March, allow yourself to be inquisitive, allow yourself to be curious, allow yourself to climb out of your comfort zone and to explore the immediate surroundings, the world around you, because even though you are performing and you're not necessarily performing for others, it'll always be good to see what else is available to you that you could use in your life right now. The challenge that we face, though, Scorpio, is Guardian of Cups. So Guardian in this particular deck references or refers to the Queen. And Cups refers to the suit of Cups, which is a water suit, which is why we have the fishy in the water. Now, what we have over here, okay, is we have this beautiful koi fish that has come towards this lotus flower, this lily, and this lily happens to be captured into a bubble. I know the artwork can be a little bit difficult to see, but there's like this bubble around this perfect lotus flower. And we've got the fish that's coming towards it. Now, you want to know, is the fish being curious, like wanting to have a look and see, well, what is this bubble and why is the flower in the bubble, and what does this mean? Can I get to the flower? Do I have access to the flower or don't I? So immediately we have all of these kind of questions coming through. And with the one ring circus, here we have this limitation, this restriction, this closed in kind of a performance again, okay? The ripples and the waves that we're seeing around is showing that the fish, the Guardian of Cups, is not making any waves, not making any ripples, but maybe there's something happening within our flower. Now, this is the card of what's the challenge that you experience this month. And the Guardian of Cups has got to do with the emotions. And it's almost like we are curious. We're happy to step outside of our comfort zones. We're happy to try something new. We're happy to explore something different. But we're also so afraid of what happens if it upsets us. What happens if the emotions around it are just not what we prepared for? So it's almost like Spirit is saying that you're putting on a one ring circus. You're very comfortable, safe, and very content in your little bubble, in your little world. And we as much as we're prepared to be curious and we're prepared to look at what else is available and what else is around us, there is this kind of nervous fear of what happens if it releases emotions that you're not prepared for, or releases anything that you're not prepared for, because that's what the Guardian of Cups is. It's about protecting the feelings, protecting the emotions and the feelings around something. Now, Spirit is saying to us to that end that you have to be strong. You have to flower in the spikiest and the most difficult of circumstances. You will succeed. You have to succeed. You have to dig deep. You have to find your inner strength, and you have to work with your inner strength to overcome this challenge, this fear, and this insecurity that you're having. Because, I mean, just look how beautiful it is. When you do flower, when you do give yourself permission to perform, to show off, it's magical and it's beautiful. I love that. Okay, because isn't that what a flower's doing? It's putting on a one-ring circus for whoever's around. The flower doesn't care if somebody sees it or not. The flower is just doing its best, being its best. And Scorpio, that is what March is all about for you. It's about be curious enough to try something new, to try something different, without overthinking it, if I can say, and understanding that it doesn't matter if anybody sees you or if anybody notices, because you're not doing it for anybody else. You're doing it for yourself. Okay, because that's the truth of the matter, is about doing it for yourself. All right. How did we get here? I mean, what brought us here? And I mean, just look at this. So we have this huge, vast expanse of water. We have got some beautiful trees above, and we've got all these lily pads. But here we have this little fish, and I'm calling him a little fish because it's the child of cups. And it's almost like he's contained in his own little pool of water, okay? Even though he's in the bigger pool of water, he's safely contained in his own pool of water while he adjusts and while he climatizes and while he gets used to it. If you've ever had a fish tank and ever had to, introduce fish into the fish tank, you will understand the symbology here. So it's about, slow adjustments and slow movements in getting things ready to be released. So Scorpio, what this is saying, okay, even though we've got the one ring circus, we are curious, but we've taken it slow. We haven't rushed into anything. We've taken it slow. We've taken the whole process step by step, and we've made sure that we've covered our bases. We've made sure that we've got everything figured out. So we're in no danger. Okay, we are in absolutely no danger. There's no chance of us falling. There's no chance of our little circus collapsing or anything like that, because we have been very, very safe in doing the things that we're doing. Now, I want to talk about these three cards. I haven't spoken about justice yet. We're going to get to justice in a minute. But when I look at these three cards, there's a couple of things that I'm seeing is the shape, the round shape, the water, and the ripples. Now, I know there's no ripples here, but that's because he's contained. And if you look around his face, you can see the ripples here around his face. Okay, so the ripples are definitely there. This is the support that's available to you. And here we've got the justice card. This little pebble that we have in the middle here, the fact that it's 50-50, night and day, is what we have. So it's telling you about all encompassing. Okay, night and day means absolutely everything. And what we have is all these ripples that are coming out from the situation. All right. The justice card is about understanding consequences of your actions. So if you throw the stone, it's going to create a ripple effect, and that ripple effect will go far, far, far out. And this is what we have to understand. So Spirit is saying to you, Scorpio, during the month of March, your curiosity that you're going to explore during the month, that you're going to take slow, that you're going to put on a show for yourself, that you're going to do your best at, is going to have long-standing repercussions. And I put air quotes around repercussions because it's certainly not a negative. Okay, it's not bad repercussions, it's positive repercussions. I don't know in what way we'll get that, but it's about recognizing and understanding that even though nobody is witnessing the show that you're putting on, you still need to carry on. The show must go on. The show must go on. All right. What are we moving towards? And I love this one, Scorpio. It is card number 4, and it is the Emperor. And here we have the poppy. And, you can Google the significance of a poppy and what it stands for and why we wear it, when we wear it, what it represents, etc. I'm not going to go into history lessons now. But what I see in this particular card is this one poppy. I mean, there are plenty. There is a field of them. But this one that stands so tall and stands so strong, just like our little lady on her elephant, okay? He's not worried. This particular poppy is not concerned around all the others. And some of them are a bit fallen over. They haven't even started blossoming yet. They haven't even started blooming yet. But look at him, super eager, super enthusiastic, first up, first standing, and actually proudly so. And this is what we're moving towards. So again, Scorpio, Spirit is saying to you, March is going to lead you towards becoming super confident, super strong, super beautiful. We are blossoming, we are flowering, and we've got the flower, the flower, the flower, and the flower, you know. And it doesn't matter who watches and who sees. At the moment, you're doing this for yourself. You are being the best version of yourself that you can be. But it all starts with you being curious to make some changes and to recognize that the little movements and the little actions that we do today will have positive effects further down the line. Okay. You know, it's always interesting in situations like this to sort of get a perspective on the way other people see you. So how does anybody else in your life, when they look at you going through this one ring circus, how are they perceiving you? What is their take on you? So here we have this beautiful big conch on the seashore. Okay, so here we've got some sand, and here we've got the little waves coming in. And this conch, I mean, if you've ever been to the ocean and you've grabbed a shell and you've held it to your ear, it's like there's a whole other world inside of it, isn't it? So the high priestess is about the knowledge and the information and the understanding that we have deep within ourselves. So that's why it's depicted in this way. Here we have a full moon and a whole nother universe, a whole nother cosmos inside the conch shell. Okay, and this is Spirit saying to you, people see you as like always finding new ways of reinventing yourself, always finding new depths of understanding, and that you don't always rely on external, that you're always digging within yourself to find the answers. You're not quick to throw it out to everybody else and say, hey, help me here, help me here, help me here. You're like, no, I will find it within myself, because this conch is like this the circular layer, and it just goes deeper and deeper and deeper until it gets to the absolute core. So it's interesting that people see you that way, that this is, you know, when people meet you, when they know you, when they see you, if I ask them to describe you, you know, they will say deep thinker, you know, introspection, all of those kind of things, which makes sense. And again, it comes back to our one ring circus. How do you see yourself though? Well, you see yourself as somebody who's always thinking, always dreaming, always pondering. So what we have here is the Major Arcana card of the Star. So, and this card has made quite a few appearances in March's Taroscopes, I have to admit. So if you imagine yourself lying in the forest, in a clearing in the forest, we've got all these trees around us, and you're looking up at the sky, obviously. It's quite interesting how we had sky coming through in both of those. And there's no sky anywhere else, maybe except there. I suppose there's a little bit of sky there. The Star card is the card of renewal, it's the card of hope, and it's the card of healing. So you see yourself as somebody who's taking time to focus on the self, to focus on yourself, and to actually dream of a better tomorrow. So you're constantly dreaming of a better tomorrow, constantly trying to find a way of doing more, being bigger, because that's what the sky is. It's so much bigger than we can perceive. So you're constantly thinking, how can I make my world bigger? I don't want to be limited and restricted. I want to have endless possibilities, endless opportunities. And that's what you're thinking about. So people see you as having this whole world inside of yourself. And you're looking at it on the external saying, but I want more, I want more. And that's where this curiosity comes through. Isn't that just amazing? I love that, Scorpio. You know, and this one really does bring it all into perspective as well, because this is the card of the things that you worry about the most, the things that occupy space in your head the most, and it is about trying to find balance in life, and especially balance around our material possessions, such as our money. So it is something that drives you. It is something that you're constantly thinking about. So even while you're performing on your own and doing everything by yourself, for yourself, with yourself, you know, you're trying to do everything to bring about balance in life. We're not saying you do have it. We're not saying you don't have it. But what we are saying here is that that is the driving force behind all your actions, is about trying to bring about this continuous, never-ending balance in your life. And to me, that makes so much sense, doesn't it? I mean, it's something we all want. Don't we all just want balance? Don't we all just want to have enough of everything? But you need to absolutely, Scorpio, start stepping out of your comfort zones and start exploring more. Okay, start exploring a little bit more. And finally, Scorpio, Where is March taking us? What is the overall outcome of March? And here we have the Elder of Cups being the King of Cups. We had the Queen of Cups, the Guardian of Cups there, and now we have got the Elder of Cups being the King of Cups. And it's quite interesting. Actually, I'm going to put it down like that because there's the child. So we've got, like, I'm going to call it the whole family gathering taking place here. So the child is placed in a saucer, in a cup, within a body of water. The mom has gone off to explore and to protect and to nurture something really delicate and something really fragile. If you imagine the father underneath that water looking up at the cup, and in the cup is where the child is. So he's staying in the background, he's staying beneath the surface, okay? We can't see him here. We can't see him here, all right? But he's absolutely there. And what is he doing? He's watching, he's nurturing, and he's taking care of from a distance, from afar. He's making sure that no harm comes to his child. All right. And that's exactly what the King of Cups does. The King of Cups is very much in control. He's very much taking care of and watching and observing and ready to help when needed. But he's also prepared to allow the child to have the experience that he needs. So what does this mean for you, Scorpio? Because the Elder of Cups, as far as like what the month of March is all about, it's about you being so curious and so in control of your one ring circus, but at the same time having your eye and your vision on other things, just like she's doing over here. Let's have a look. Can you see that? So as much as she is on her elephant and performing, she's also looking off to the side. If only we could follow her gaze and see what she was looking at. But what she's doing is while she's in her moment and while she's putting on her performance, she's very much aware of what's going on around her so that she can shift and change as needs be. But it is about finding your strength, your courage, and your conviction, but also having control over everything that means something to you, everything that is important and significant to you in your life, while bringing about the balance that you so need and that you're so looking for. So it looks like it's going to be a very interesting month for you, Scorpio. It looks like March is going to be very interesting. Like no big kind of crazy events, okay? So nothing like, be careful of this, watch out for that, nothing like that at all. But certainly about you blossoming, blooming, growing, and developing yourself for yourself. But it all starts with you just being a little bit curious about what else is out there for you. And if you can do that, you're going to be confident, you're going to be strong, you're going to be fabulous. And we all want fabulous, don't we, Scorpio? All right, Scorpio, I hope March is amazing. I hope March is easy, simple, and uncomplicated for you. And with love and blessings from my heart to yours. Until we meet again, take care.